Yo guys, Beast, back with some more beastly content, and today we are going to be doing a guide over mods. So, first things first, I want to go ahead and start out with the basics of what mods do you actually want to use. So, there's actually a very easy way of viewing like all the mods that are in the game and knowing what every single one of them does, and that's this thing here called mod conversion. Now, it actually has like a lot more of a purpose to it, but for now we're just going to be like using it to view, all the mods that there are. So, first things first, for weapon mods. So, when it comes to mods, they are all centered around a specific thing, and that is that there are different like types you can build your build into. You can build a burn build, you can build a power surge build, you can build a frost vortex build, you can build the bullseye build. They're all listed out here. So depending on the build that you're actually building towards, and if you actually don't know how to tell like what build you're building towards, whatever like gold gun you have, see what its like actual effects are here. So we're gonna take a look at this one for instance. Right here, weapon features, trigger burn on hit. So this is a burn weapon, so we need to be building into burn. So for burn, and this is actually, we're going to go ahead and explain the two key things you need to worry about boosting when it comes to burn, power surge, or frost vortex, any of the elemental types. So you can either boost elemental damage or you can boost the status damage. But when it comes to the mods for these, really it's kind of up to the draw of like which gold one you get first, because all of these mods are great. I will say I don't really like Blaze Blessing. I think it's the weakest of the options, though I guess you could have a really good healing build and have a blast. With Blaze Blessing, I don't know. I've just never been able to get a build that like actually uses it very well. Flame Resonance, Burning Wrath, all these other ones, they're pretty nice. And we are actually going to cover mod conversion in this video, but not for a minute, because right now we're just covering like the basics of the mods. And once again, for Power Surge, there's all sorts of different things. You can kind of like see which one's best for your weapon, but regardless, they're going to be farmed from the monoliths. Each monolith is going to like drop a different one. But on to the armor mods. For elemental typings, of the 3 elemental typings that there are, you need to either be boosting the elemental damage or the status damage of your build. And each mod does different little things here. Like, here we go. So this one right here, and Deviation Expert, for instance, this boosts status damage by 20%. However, I actually recently got one that I really like, and I only need to get one more of before I can actually mod conversion out of it. It's actually called Elemental Havoc, and it does elemental damage plus 10 when HP is above 90, plus 10 additionally. So, when you have 90% HP or above, you're getting 20% elemental damage bonus from this thing right here. Now, another thing to mention about mods, we'll go ahead and take a look at the mods I have, just so that I can go ahead and explain a couple other things about mods. I want to cover everything before we get into like farming them and where to farm them. We are going to cover where to farm them extremely quickly. But as you can see here, there's attribute effects on your mods, and there's actually 4 different ones, and they're unlocked based upon like the tier of your armor. So like as you can see, I have tier 3 armor on now, so the only 2 attribute effects I am getting from this mod are elemental damage boost and damage against great ones. Now these can be different, and this is where it gets down to like mod conversion and stuff. And we're going to go ahead and talk about mod conversion, but then we're going to go ahead and talk about where to farm the mods, because mod conversion and farming mods, unfortunately, are very much connected, and you can't just do mod conversion to get all your mods and just go farm one silo, because you actually have to get the mod to drop 3 times in order to actually be able to do a conversion. And then when you go to do that conversion, it is going to cost you a whopping total of 6 golden mods and 20,000 energy links per. Now, a cool thing about it though is you can actually select the suffix, but in order to actually select the suffix, you are going to need to have 4 of these suffix types, so like violent, talents, burn. So for burn, for instance, it's probably going to give you either plus burn damage or plus elemental damage. For talents or violent, talents might give you elemental damage. I think talents is probably another one that's a good one to do. But you can actually select your suffix, provided that you have 4 mods already like just acquired with this suffix. They can be different mods. That's why conversion's helpful, is because you can take different mods and combine them together to make the mod you want and get the higher perks. So that's why you're using mod conversion, is actually to get those perks that are like underneath the mod. Like the main perk in the mod is what you're aiming for in the beginning, but once you have that, when you're going to make your build better and make your mods get stronger, you're actually needing to take these mods and either go farm for them again and see if you can get a drop, because it's a random like RNG sort of thing when you get the attribute effects. Like I've had one of these that, or not one of these, I've only gotten 2 of these in the entire thing. So this one's actually a very, very good mod to get. I was very happy when I actually finally got this to drop. That's the other thing about this. Like when I do a build guide and it's like just a raw build guide and I'm like showing you good mods to use and I don't show like the best of the best, maybe it's not because I don't think that's the best of the best or I don't know how to play the game. Maybe it's only due down to the fact that I have a full-time job and I do YouTube. So, I don't exactly have the amount of time needed to farm every single mod, and it's RNG based to get the mod, so who even knows how long it will take me to get a mod. I could get a mod in 5 minutes, or I could get a mod in 5 days of farming for it. You never really know, and that's how mod farming goes with this. But on to the mod locations. Here we go, starting with the first one. Alrighty, so the first farm location is actually Silo Delta. This is located outside of the Ice House camp. It's in the Onyx Tundra area. Right here is the Central Tundra teleportation tower. Right here is the North Blackstone teleportation tower. I actually usually use this teleportation tower when I'm going to farm Delta. But Delta is the farm location for gloves and shoes. That's right, any builds, gloves, or shoes. All you gotta do is figure out what mod you're actually farming for when it comes to your gloves or your shoes, which once again I showed you. All you have to do is go over to the mod conversion, click on the shoes and the gloves, and go through every single one of them and read what all of them do and see which one of them is going to boost the most percentage of what you need to be boosting based upon your build. Like I said, if it's an elemental type of build, status damage and elemental damage is going to be wanted to be boosted. When it comes to other builds, there are other mods that you're going to want to be using, and they're not all about just boosting your percentage on some of those, and some of them are very, very OP. But like I said, for the shoes and the gloves, it's Silo Delta. On to the chest piece, and I know I said chest piece and tops, but we're just going to say pants and tops. So here we go. For the pants and tops, it's actually going to be Silo Psy in Way of Winter. That is the first 4 mods. Now on to the mask. Here we go. And also, before we go to the mask, let me just real quickly show you where Silo Psy is at in Way of Winter. We're in the Vinja Ford area. Right here is Whalebone. Right here is our teleport tower of the Waterside teleport tower. There's the teleport tower here, Harbor District teleportation tower. I would recommend unlocking this if you are going to be doing any silo farming. As you can see, I actually haven't even done it this season. I just had my mods because I've played the game for 4 seasons now. So, yeah. But for the tops and pants, Silo Psy, on to the next one. Alrighty, and for the mask, it's actually going to be Silo EX1, and you can farm the gold variant of mods from the normal version. Now, we're going to go ahead and get on into the helmets, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about how to get better and better mods, and where the better mods do drop from. And in case you missed it on Silo EX1, we are in the Onyx Tundra area. Here's the Ice House camp, here's the Tundra Monolith, and here is Silo EX1. On to the helmet. And alrighty, so for the helmet, you actually can't farm it from a silo until you get to phase 2 of Way of Winter. At that point, it's Silo 08 for farming the helmet. Now, on to another topic. So, here's the thing about mods, farming them, and when you should farm them, how much you should farm them, and if you do get the mods you need, why you should stop farming them until the next phases come, at least until phase 3. So, mods drop at better rarities based upon what phase you're farming them in. So if you're doing a phase 2 silo, like Silo 08, you can do it on normal mode and be fine. But any of the other silos, in order to get a phase 2 rarity weapon mod, you're actually going to want to go ahead and do the other silos on hard. That's another thing about Silo Delta. In order to actually get those boots farmed up and gloves farmed up as golds, you're going to have to do that one on hard. And hard really requires you to have mods farmed up to begin with. So, yeah, just a little topic there. Helmet comes from Taurus. And as for phase 3, that unlocks the pro mode difficulty. And we're actually going to quickly, and as you can see here, Silo 8 is just outside of Oblivion. But we're going to go ahead and head on over here to the entrance of the Zone of Haze here. And the entrance to the Zone of Haze drops both weapon mods as well as armor mods. But as you can see here for the weapon mods, it says may drop a weapon mod. Legendary mods obtained with the controller after phase 3 are guaranteed to include an epic secondary stat. So that means that the secondary stats are going to roll with a higher percentage like boost, so you can get an even higher elemental damage boost and higher status damage boost, and you can get all your other stuff boosted up a lot higher when you're doing phase 2 and phase 3 farms, aka hard and pro mode difficulty areas where you can use controllers, that you're going to be getting the better mods out of it. So in order to actually get the best mods farmed up, you're actually going to want to be using controllers during phase 3 and clearing pro mode difficulty things. But before you do the pro mode, you're going to have to do your normal to get a basic set of mods done. Then you're going to have to take that basic set of mods and clear hard and get a hard set of the mods farmed up. And that is actually why we're going to talk about another place to get your mask mods. So, here we go. Alrighty, so as you can actually see here, we're just in like the whalebone area. You can go to like any of the settlement areas to do this. But there's actually this person here, and it's this little like jellyfish looking person. And the way you actually get the currency for this person, and it uses sproutlets to use it. So you just have to do cargo events, so cargo conquest events, and they actually just like appear here that they say cargo conquest. You can switch between worlds at a teleport tower, so like right here is the teleport tower. Just go up to it, hit G, you can switch worlds, and when you switch worlds, you can actually just open your map, hit X, and see if there's any cargo event scrambles going on, and you're going to need 1,000 per mod that you're wanting to buy. But when it comes to mods in here, they only sell what is weapon mods and what is armor mods. So like the Shattering Ice weapon mod, for instance. This is very good for Frost Vortex. The Shatter the Maul is good for Shrapnel. Then they got Blaze Blessing in here. This is another one that is really good, but also they have the mask mods. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because the mask mods are actually very, very good. And they have the Burn one and the Frost Vortex one in here. I think they even have Thunderclap in here. Yeah, they have all of the different types of builds, mask mods in here. So for the mask mod, you can actually just purchase it from this here shop. And for some of these mods that like you just haven't gotten that many of on the mask, like you haven't gotten 3 of yet to actually do conversion of, you can actually just buy these once a season, and after 3 seasons you'll be able to do mod conversion on them, for those of you who don't have as much time as others to actually get your mods farmed up, because mods are something that can take up a lot of time, and not all of us have enough time to get to the point to where we've done all the mod conversions and all of our mods are just absolutely maxed out. All of us are probably, yes, working on that, but it doesn't mean we're able to. And we're going to go ahead and get on to the next thing right now. Alrighty, on to the weapon mods. So, like I said, these are going to be farmed from the monoliths. So, for the Tundra monolith, aka the Tree Ant monolith, you are for the secret server. Actually, it's secret server. So, you actually got to go farm secret server. And this is going to be Frost Vortex weapon mods. This is going to be the Unstable Bomber weapon mods. And it's going to be your Power Surge weapon mods. And once again, you're going to have to do hard mode to actually get the gold drops from this. Alrighty, and the next one is going to be the Forsaken Giant. And it's going to be Shrapnel, Fast Gunner, and the Bullseye mods are farmed from the Forsaken Giant. Now, you can just do this one on the normal difficulty to actually get the gold weapon mods on to the next set of mods and where to farm them. Alrighty, and the final one to actually farm is going to be the Tree Ant monolith, and I actually don't even have like the monolith showing on my map right now. I haven't even bothered unlocking it this season. I actually don't know if I'm going to. But the Tree Ant Avalanche monolith actually drops the Burn, Bounce, as well as the Fortress Warfare mods. So that is it for all the weapon mods. One final thing to mention is that when the Zone of Haze actually does open, and I do believe this opens in either, I'm thinking it's phase 3, it will actually be able to drop any weapon mod of any kind as well as any armor mod of any kind. So technically, if you're able to get a team together or build strong enough, you can actually just go ahead and do the entrance of the Zone of Haze over and over and be able to farm all of your armor mods and all of your weapon mods in one single place. Same with Manibus, with Leah's Lab. Alrighty, and one final thing is we're just going to go ahead and check out my mods as well as talk about what I can personally do to make my mods better, because everyone, at least most everyone, can always be improving on their mods. And mine are all like phase 2 mods. I don't even think I've done phase 3 mod farming, honestly, very much. I know none of my mods are phase 3 mods. So, as you can see though, we have the Elemental Havoc mod on our helmet. As for our mask, we have the Retrusion Explosion, which is actually just crit damage plus 40% against enemies with burn, which, by the way, I don't really do a crit build. I do an elemental build lately. So we're actually here to actually get a specific mod from this, or at least we need to get a specific mod from this. However, we have one Sproutlet. So we are actually after what is going to be, and we're going to head down here. It's actually the Blaze Amplifier mod. And the reason why it's so good is actually because every stack of burn grants plus 3 PSI intensity damage. So it doesn't actually look like there's a cap. So the more stacks of burn that you're able to get, the more damage intensity you're actually going to be able to get. So this is a way better mod than the mod I currently have on. And the mod I actually currently have on my mask is actually just going to be, once again, just a crit damage boost with enemies infected with burn, which once again does give a little bit of a damage boost, but it's not multiplicative, and crit damage is not really something you're wanting to be boosting into when it comes to status or elemental. However, you can, and it does work out okay as a build, and if it's the only mod you got, you can use it. I will say there are better mods to be using when it comes to my mask mod. So, on to the chest mod. The chest mod really is like, there's not too many options. So, there's Enduring Shield, and this is like really one that everybody uses on everything. This works really easy. When out of combat, gain 1 stack of Safe Haven every 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. For every 5 damage received, receive 1 stack of Safe Haven to gain an 8% shield for 3 seconds. So while Enduring Shield is good, there is actually another top mod I'm wanting to actually make as well, and that is actually going to be the Resist Advantage. So when out of combat, gain 1 stack of 10% damage reduction every 5 seconds. Each effect can stack up to 5 times, 1 stack removed when hit. So while you are losing, stuff when you actually get hit, as you can see though, there's a 50% damage reduction there. So that's actually very good and very easy to get. Now I know it is very similar to Enduring Shield. However, I don't actually think and I know it is a shield, but I don't think it's actually, I think it's about the same as, a damage reduction. So 50% damage reduction or 8% shield. So that means it's 8% of your health. So I don't know. It sounds like it's the same thing as damage reduction. I would rather have Resist Advantage. I actually do believe. But we're going to go ahead and look at the pants here real quickly, and we're going to get out of here soon. One final thing I wanted to mention when it comes to the mod conversion, and a way to make this a lot easier once you actually unlock the mod. So first of all, you're going to have to go to the different silos or purchase from the, the mushroom lady to actually get the mods acquired 3 times in a row. But once you've actually acquired a mod 3 times in a row, conversion materials can be any armor mods that's for a mask, right? It doesn't have to be, or actually it's gloves or mask. So I think it's actually technically like any mod. So you could technically just run like one silo over and over, whatever is the fastest silo you can run on hard or pro mode, over and over. Once you actually have the mods farmed up that you want, and you've actually acquired them enough times to actually do mod conversion, then you can just do like any silo to collect the mods and then use them in this mod conversion right here to actually get the better mods with the higher stats that you're actually wanting. Once again, the higher stats is an end game slash, like, people claim it's like a pro thing, but it's not really a pro thing. It's an end game thing. And for me, I'm more of a sandbox player, so I've done all sorts of the sandbox content in the game. I have over 700 hours in this game, guys, and that's on this account alone. My alt account has 200 hours on its own, so I'm nearing 1,000 hours on this game, guys. I've played every aspect of it, but I played a lot of sandboxing, and I've always slacked on my mod farming, and I think I have like 400 controllers or something like that in my seasonal backpack that I didn't even transfer over to this season, because I still don't know if I'm actually going to get the mod farming done, simply due to the fact that when you are a content creator and you're having to create content, and recently I've slacked off because I'm just sick of seeing stupid comments saying stupid things when I have a full-time job, don't have to do this, and definitely do not make enough money to live off of this. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. I just wanted to make this video mainly, and oh my god, I installed a new motherboard in my computer, and now I have to activate Windows again. This is so annoying. But I am out of here, guys. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. I think I covered everything that was pretty much needed to cover about mods. I think you get it now. I think you get it that I do understand how to use the mod conversion, and hopefully you understand understand how to use the mod conversion if you don't. I just have seen too many comments on my videos saying that I don't even know how to use mods or stupid things like that just because I'm using a purple mod in a video. Like on my shotgun video, for instance, I used the purple mod because I was in a hurry to get content out because I work a full-time job, and they just released a brand new scenario that no one had ever played before, and I didn't know where anything was, and I just decided to try out a burn build for the very first time and never even really used a real burn build besides like a stupid burn build that I didn't even ever make a video on. So I had to go farm all the mods fresh with like no time to do that because I also had to create content over the game. But I am out. See you. Keep it beast mode.